Got a tough group here. So. I think Lynn is ready, so we can begin our meeting. So we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. The roll has been taken. Okay, we have a request, well, two changes to the agenda, three. You're right, I didn't look on the two resolutions and a request for purchase. So, one under item E, and we'll add two, numbers 3 and 4 for our resolutions. So I'm sure you'll help me remember. I'm hoping you'll help me remember when we get there. So first up, we'd entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the January 8th, 2019 organizational meeting and the January 8th, 2019 regular meeting.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Are there any comments or questions about those meetings, or the minutes? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Okay, so we'll move to E, request for purchase. And that item is request for purchase in the amount of, request for purchase from Advanced Concrete LLC in the amount of $15,000 for lintel and brickwork repair on the wastewater treatment plant pump house. Looks like we allowed an additional $2,600 to $12,400 estimate for unforeseen repair work, which will be identified and agreed prior to the correction of the start of work. Approval will now move the start of this project up from 2020 to the present 2019 budget. Difficulty in obtaining contractors to work on the CIP has provided room in this year's capital budget. So shifting work around, it sounds like.
So is it repair on something that wasn't done properly to begin with?
I think it's just
repair-
age, is that?
No, this is one of the original buildings out there.
Okay, that's all.
And
that's
so
all.
that it's been identified for at least 20 years, except
Okay.
that the moisture's gotten in there and swollen the steel, and it's, as rust, it'll get
Right.
thicker, and it's just displacing the bricks. The bricks are now bowed out, both on the inside and outside walls. And so it was, like I said, it's been out there for like 20 years. It was finally put on the CIPs back in 2012, but it's always out 2 or 3 years. It's just been pushed out. And we have been having some difficulties with some of our contractors just getting to work for us because we're not the highest paying company out there to get work done. And so we did found somebody who came out and looked at several of our sites, and right now he's able to do the work because it's his off season, because it's not nice warm weather where other people are doing lots of other stuff. And so he's offered to give us a good price and start work immediately. And so we'd like to look it up. We looked at our budget, and we are underrunning areas in our contract fees, because as you noticed, we came back and did the sludge pond, the polishing pond sludge removal, and that was a $59,000 contract that was let out back last summer. And actually, we came back and there's less sludge than what we thought, and so we've got $28,000 left for that $59,000 contract, so that was already in our budget. And so we've got room to do that, to move it up from next year to this year, because we've got a willing contractor who can get it done and fix a chronic problem that's been out there for 20 years. And also, it goes back and lets those operators know that we appreciate what they're doing, because they've been looking at that thing and it's been an issue. And we don't want the building to fall in. We don't want further, because if the roof goes, then it's a huge expense. And so
The
this is-
contractor made a point to make a note that he hasn't seen something that's bad. A facility that's that essential. That says a lot.
Yes,
Question, the items that are crossed out on your estimate here,
yes.
is just, we're not doing that work, I assume?
No, those are gonna be next year.
But those will be,
Doesn't mean-
Yes.
We're not able to move those forward then?
We could.
Does it make sense while he's on site? If he's got time, he's on site? It probably isn't gonna get cheaper.
That's true.
I just,
These are now, they would now be an amount so we could come back and take care of.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's not
We'd be able to do
an extensive
with
amount.
our just approval here that we would, if that came out, that he could get to those, and we could probably make those approvals, they'll let you know.
We have deferred a lot of maintenance for a lot of years. I mean, you talk about 20 years on this project. If he's Because if you got somebody on site that can do these other ones, it seems to me like that.
If you would like to amend your motion and go up a little bit in price.
Have we had a motion yet?
No.
No, we have, so.
We'd be
Anybody
more
want
than
to
willing
make
to
a
have them do other things
To
too.
allow up to
Sure.
this amount?
Absolutely.
The 16.8?
Well, but you look back at the other one, it was that we took the 12,000 he had there, we put on there an additional 2,600 in case he's finding stuff as he gets into it.
Yeah.
We want to have sufficient funds to
So you
complete
need a
that.
contingency.
And we are doing it as a time material, we don't want a lump sum, because when you do a lump sum, he's gonna put stuff in there that he may think he gets, and you pay for it anyway. And so, because you've approved the procurement policy, it allows us to go back and do a lump
We can go
sum.
back and
I'm
do
sorry,
it.
not lump sum, a time materials, we'll watch him, and that's that statement in there that we have to agree upon other work if we find stuff.
Right.
And so that, the number that's in there right now is, we feel very confident for that building. If you wanna do the other things, you'll have to up the
Would
number.
you want a contingency basically for a change order or additional orders to his work? Is that how you would do that?
I put that in already.
Okay.
With the
But I mean,
numbers in it.
to add these other
Yes.
pieces, or they have
If we wanted to add these other pieces
Would
with
they
the
be
new
part of
procurement
a
policy,
change
we could
order?
add them
and just raise
Without
it?
us.
without that.
You can go up to.
No, because this is over the
Different place.
15,000 or the 10,000, it would have to come back to you,
Okay, but I'm talking about our amendment.
yes.
If we put in, which looks to me about close to $4,500 more.
Yes.
Would that allow you to go up to that amount?
Yes,
At your discretion.
at our discretion, yes,
He may or may not add these other items. Contractor may not be able to do them.
correct. And now, you may have to postpone those.
Support.
Okay. Are you clear what the motion is?
Whatever Alan said.
Whatever Alan said.
So we're going for
So
the
if
total
they able to.
16,830, right?
Well.
No, I was more. No, that's what Nick was.
You're gonna go for 16,830 plus 2,600, I believe.
Correct.
Oh, all right, okay.
So you're
Oh, I
about,
see.
you're about 19,400.
You might want to go to 20,000 just to
Yeah,
give
just
you
to
more
22.
contingency.
That'd be great.
Okay,
That way there's a contingency on the additional items as well.
so not to exceed 20,000.
Yes, we can
So
do
with
that.
Al,
Over that?
Out of,
Really?
out of pocket, little out of pocket.
Okay. So we have a motion for up to 20,000 at this point, I believe, on the table. Is everybody clear on the motion?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
questions?
We
We have a
already
motion?
did all that.
Motion
All
and
right.
support.
Sorry, Mary.
All right, so everybody's clear. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Motion's carried, thank you.
Thank you very much, I really
Sorry to
appreciate.
throw monkey wrenches into it.
No, and actually, I appreciate the openness and your willingness to fix other things. That was not our intent to get the other stuff in there, but thank you very much, and we'll get it all done.
Well, like I said, we have deferred a lot of maintenance for a long time, so it's time. Okay, moving now down to G, resolutions. First up, we have consideration of the resolution setting the maximum asset standards to be eligible for a poverty exemption. Got motions? Was that support? And then you want a question?
go ahead, give a second.
I'll give it support to your
Okay.
question.
What is the maximum?
5,000.
5,000. That's what I brought to you last year, and you guys looked through, and we actually changed it, I believe, last year. It might have been 15,000 throughout the years, and then we reviewed it last year, and we brought it to 5,000. So, and that's something that wouldn't necessarily need to be changed every year. I mean, we now have it, and it would be good for however long, unless you think that we should change the 5,000.
Should the amount be in this resolution?
Well, I mean, it's in
Well,
the
that's-
exemption.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be an example.
All right.
Is that kind of a normal average? It sounds kind of low.
Well, that's what you reviewed last year. I brought you the stuff from the state tax commission and what other municipalities were doing. So that's just assets.
Yeah.
Um,
It's assets.
it's not the income or anything like that, so. And I can get you more information on it, or from what you did last year,
There was
and,
quite a bit of
Yeah,
discussion.
discussion.
Yeah.
And review last year on that.
Is your question answered? Are you satisfied?
Well, no, we did discuss it.
Yeah.
5,000 is an automobile.
Not a very nice one. You're right.
Well, if you review it, it excludes some items. You're allowed to have some items as assets. So this is above and beyond the items that are allowed.
5,000 is what you have in the bank. You can't have more than $5,000.
More of a liquid asset type of,
Yeah, I apologize, Larry. I should have given you more information. I just figured you guys remembered from, because you did spend quite a bit of time on this, because it was an important issue last year to actually finally change it, but I can email you information or.
When you brought
if you want.
comps last year of what other people were doing.
Yes.
It was in that area, that 5,000.
But we have a couple new commissioners, you know, and they weren't aware of it.
Right, I agree. And whatever information you guys want, I can provide you. I'll
I
shoot
did
you.
read
an
the
email.
resolution a couple days ago, Sheila. It's-
Okay.
It's in the packet.
Yeah. And we have raised these from 1,500 to 5,000.
It was 15,000.
15, we lowered it.
15,000.
Lowered it.
Because we felt that was
Okay.
Right.
too much liquid
Too
assets.
much liquid assets.
15,000 in the bank, you probably should give a bigger taxes.
Under the guidance of the State Tax Commission.
So,
I'm fine.
okay. I believe we had the motion and support. Is there any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Number 2, consideration of a resolution adopting the poverty exemption guidelines for the City of Alma Board of Review to implement, which includes the maximum asset standards. So here's the numbers. Looking for. Your pleasure.
Move approval?
Support.
Sure, motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Now we'll move down to number 3, which is consideration of a resolution approving the discharge of mortgage for the Housing Rehabilitation Program Deferred Payment Loan Agreement between the City of Alma and Roy and Virginia Cole of 125 Moyer Street. Your pleasure.
Well, it's a good thing.
Support.
And motion support, and Larry mentioned it is a good thing, yes. Help somebody, in a good program. Did you have any comments, Eric, or?
Yeah, it's a sale that's happening. These folks borrowed it back in '97. It was only $679. It was part of another project, but this was the amount that was handed over to them in the loan. They have since passed on. This is going through the estate right now. So it's being sold as part of that sale. Obviously, this has to be discharged. As part of that discharge, that $679 will come back to the City of Alma as part of the agreement. No, some of them are, as long as you lived in it and if you passed on, it was forgiven. Some of them are like that, but
I was
this
thinking it was
one
forgiven after 5 years.
No, not
This
this
was
one.
a different one
No,
then.
this was not, no.
Okay.
They did get some other revenue or funding for the other parts of the project, because the project itself was like $12,000. This was a piece that they must have had to fill a gap somewhere, but this one had to be for that.
That's probably why it was set up to be paid back, because it was filling the gap.
Yeah.
And it was very specific in there even as a, passing on.
Now, when it comes back, then do we have restrictions on this funding? or
It goes into the housing rehab funds here at the city. I don't know where it goes after that, but this has been out since '97. so
Then we have to return it to the state if they're.
I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure.
But I trust you'll track
This
that
is
down.
this is the process that I've been told we have to go through to get this done for them, so they get this sale done.
Yeah, discharge. I guess that makes sense. Okay. Comments or questions? Did we have a motion?
Yes.
We did. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Moving down to ordinances, consideration of, oops, oh, I'm sorry, skipped one. Consideration of a Michigan Department of Transportation resolution of intent to apply for financial assistance for fiscal year 2019 and 20, under Act 51 of Public Acts of 1951 for the purpose of supporting the Alma Dial-A-Ride transportation system.
Move approval.
Support? Motion and support. Any comments or questions? Any presentation from staff or comments from
Brett
staff?
had to leave, but I will tell you, the impressive thing to me is usually it took Sheila 3 times going back and forth with me to make sure my numbers balanced. Brett gave it to her once and it balanced. He's an overachiever.
Okay. Okay.
What is the
But
amount?
this is an annual thing that
Annual
has
thing
to
we
be
do.
done with the state in
805,000.
order to get funding from the state to help fund the transportation center.
Which we've done for a number of years. Okay. Any more questions or comments? And there is numbers in the back of this pack. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. All right, now I'm gonna go to H. Consideration of the introduction and approval of ordinance number 808 pursuant to the Michigan Regulation and Taxation of Marijuana Act for recreational marijuana, section 6.1 to prohibit marijuana establishments within its boundaries. And for clarification, this is strictly the recreational marijuana establishments.
So moved.
This is separate and distinct from the medical side. Okay, we have a motion and support. Do we have any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Okay. Moving down to I, consideration of a resolution authorizing the execution of the revised protection project authorization 2012-0029 P5/R1 with the Michigan Department of Transportation to add a line item for tires and adjust funding among the line items by $3,402 for the total of $38,500, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement on behalf of the city of Alma. A lot of work for 2 years. Motion support? Anybody have questions?
What's that mean?
This is the 38.5 is a grant that's been out there for quite some time. We've done the radios, there's some things, this was basically what's left to fill. And so Brett was smart to put in the $3,400 for tires, and that will get us to the end of the $38,500. That way we'll use all
$3,402.
and $2.
Brett apparently got every last dollar
Yeah.
out of this thing.
But the 38.5 I started before I left.
Oh, okay.
That's your policy. Let somebody else finish.
But somebody else finished it, correct.
All right.
Somebody else finished it.
Okay, any additional comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Moving to reports, commissioners may remove, we have reports from the police department for December 2018 and the annual report for 2018. Commissioners may remove either item for independent discussion and vote, or we can do them both in one motion if you would like. So,
Move to receive both.
to receive both. Your support? Your support. Any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I guess I should have asked, did staff want to present anything on this?
Not tonight.
Intentional, or?
No, we can discuss it more tomorrow if you'd like. Yeah.
But good reports.
Yeah.
Okay, K, appointments. First up is consideration of a resolution appointing Tad Godfrey, Joe Lucas, David Justin, and Ben Long as alternate to the City of Elma Board of Review for 1-year terms. Pleasure. Any motion support? Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried, and our thanks go out to the group being willing to serve. Number 2 is consideration of a resolution appointing Ben Long to the Elma Parks and Recreation Board.
Move approval.
Motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Congratulations, Mr. Long. We're gonna keep him busy. Number 3, consideration of a resolution appointing Susan Anderson to the Elma Housing Commission to a term expiring January 1, 2023 to fulfill the unexpired term of George Clark.
Move approval.
Support.
Motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Congratulations, Mrs. Anderson, Miss Anderson. Consideration of a resolution appointing Gary Shirely to the Housing Commission for a term of 5 years ending January 1st, 2024. Anybody care to appoint Gary? Got no motion and support? Okay, any comments or questions? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Congratulations to Mr. Shirely. No unfinished business. New business, we have appropriations.
Do we have to pay him first before I ask a question? Or do we approve, I mean, do we approve to pay the?
I think technically we're supposed to have a motion and support, and then we have to ask our
Move
questions.
approval.
Support.
Properly.
I don't really understand finances, but I just was curious, what do we pay the school system? I mean, there are animal schools that had, I don't know, $8,000 or something, what do we pay them for?
But we do
Was
this
that a-
thing, we collect their little school taxes.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's a
That's
pass.
why you also probably see a large one for Gratiot County Treasurer and the Gratiot Isabella School District.
Mhm.
Yeah, those guys, we have to pay them, as the money's coming in, we have to give them their share on a regular basis.
And you've checked into it, we really do have to.
Okay, thank you.
Just thought I'd ask. Solve our revenue problem here, but that's not this way, I guess, so.
Especially like at the end of September, when you're giving
Yeah.
$1 million to the school, and kind of, why is that?
And they need
Their
it,
taxes.
they need it badly, so. Any more questions on the appropriations? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Commissioner comments. We'll start with our newest commissioners. Audra, you want to go first?
Let me think. We do have a big event this weekend at Child Advocacy. We have our Princess and Pirates Family Carnival and Expo. It's a free event for the community at Youth for Christ on Cheeseman Road, and that's from 10 to 2. So I hope everyone comes out for that. Should be a lot of fun.
Michelle?
Starting February 1st for the month of February down at the chamber office, we are going to do Lift Your Heart, and there's going to be a sign and a bunch of hearts where you can go down there and write what you love about Alma and stick up on the windows. And that will also be happening at Alley T's, Kubin's, and I believe it's Ann Schutz's. So we're just going to bring positivity.
So St. Louis, Ithaca, and Breckenridge people are all going to write what they love about Alma.
Well,
That's really sweet of those folks. And I knew they were good neighbors and we liked them for a reason.
Well, I was
so-
going to do it just to Alma, and then I thought, why not spread the positivity? So I called to other businesses
Absolutely.
in different towns.
I'm sure they love Alma too. Nick,
Nothing to add.
were you done, Michelle? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, any more? Sorry. Hey, Roxanne.
Nothing today, thank you.
Larry?
I would like to ask you to have a moment of silence for Randy Sumner. Long-time city employee passed away. It was, Matt took over his position. All right.
Today. So, let's go ahead and do that then. Thank you very much, Larry. That was very appropriate. And Randy was a good guy. I know we used to kid him a lot. It was great having him at the meetings when he would attend with us. And we all gave him a hard time. He took it in good faith.
Thank you.
Good Steve, so.
And gave it back.
And gave it back as well, yeah. He did a fine job of running the transportation department for how many years? 35 years, okay.
More than me. He was here when I came.
Roger.
On a note similar to that, I would like to just kind of give a shout out to both police and fire departments. There was I think most of you are aware, there was a police shooting this morning in Saginaw Township. A policeman was shot in the face at a traffic stop, I believe. The culprit has been apprehended, and the officer is in, I think, stable condition. But that's awfully close to home. I mean, when I heard that, the first thing I did was contact Mark to see if it could have been one of the officers from Alma that had, moved over to Saginaw Township, and it wasn't. But that's just awfully close to home to have that kind of thing happen. We don't realize sometimes that these guys, no matter what they're doing, even on a routine call at 4 o'clock in the morning, they're putting their lives on the line for us. And I think a public thank you to them.
Well said, and we love to think it can happen here, but
It's not far down the road.
no, it truly can, so. Yeah. Okay. Clerk? Mr. Attorney?
Well, just about Randy Sumner, I know he would have hated for me to say anything like this while he was with us. But he's actually a really nice person. And he did a lot of really good things for a lot of people that nobody, very few people probably know about. Selfless guy, and he's going to be missed. Absolutely. That's rough.
Mr. Vacationer?
I'd echo that on Randy. I spent 6 months with him out of transit, and I will say he was one of a kind. You guys knew where he stood with Randy, there was no doubt where he stood, and he will be missed. I think there was a lot of things that people didn't know about Randy that I got to know during that time. And I have one other thing. Mr. Hale, could you step up here for a moment, please? In doing some review, as we've gone through looking for tomorrow night, and I decided to do this tonight because it's the formal meeting, to give Aaron into one of our challenge coins for what he's done. Since Aaron's taken over inspection services, it's pretty remarkable. We look at the number of inspections, and we're talking about over 1,300 inspections. We're talking about a program that he took over that was really in disarray at the time. It had been kicked around the city to everybody trying to manage it, and now our compliance rate for our rentals is over 90% of folks that are there. My office is right next to his cubicle. I get to hear and talk to people every day. He's exactly what we want our employees to be. He does a great job. So thank you, my friend. And don't forget, tomorrow night we will all be back together again for the goal setting session going forward. I have made promises. We'll be out in 2 hours.
I wish I could say you've done such a good job, we didn't need you anymore, Aaron, but.
Oh, well, please don't tell me that.
No. I said I wish I could say that, but unfortunately, I think there's still a lot of work for you to do. Not that we don't appreciate what you've done so far, but unfortunately, there is much more to be done, so. Continuing the program, so. Okay. I think I noticed new awnings on the front of the Strand Theater, the Gratiot County Players. Along with to go with their paint job and their new logo or their new lettering up there, so.
Play coming up in 2
very
weeks,
nice.
I think. But Lion in Winter.
Lion in Winter.
Story of Richard the Lion.
Anybody here participating in that? You guys?
No.
Neither of you?
Did the sewing center get a new awning too?
Yeah, Ken did it too. At the new awning, he got a new sign up there. Apparently it took him a long time to. It was a bigger project, I think, than what Ken was anticipating. It took longer, yeah. 6 or 8 weeks, something like that, to get that sign done, so. Yeah, and that looks nice as well.
Yes.
You're good observation there. With that, we'd like to open the floor to the public. If you'd like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address, and share your thoughts. Who would like to be first? Lori.
My name is Lori Wilson. I live at 517 Michigan Avenue, apartment B. I've been there 11 months, and I'm happy to be out of the hotels finally after 3.5 years. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for the Elma Police Department, that they're like brothers and sisters to me. Matt Schooley has been a longtime friend for me. He's got me where I am today, but I'm proud that I am cancer-free of January 8th, the 8th of this month. I am cancer-free. Thank God. Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations. Glad it went so well, Lori.
Well, I got one more test, and I'm hoping it's going to be good.
We'll join you in hoping that. So who would like to be next? Anybody else care to address the commission? Jeff? Must be something that brought you here. The next meeting? Okay. All right. Well, with that, I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Support. Motion support. All those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Drive carefully. I think it's snow.
So, fill out the card.
They'll be here for the next meeting.
We should have went through.
No, I have a standard of them too.
I thought you had to.
It's like,